Hi and welcome to my MailChimp Masterclass. I'm talking to you today about the top 5 low budget marketing tactics to drive holiday sales. So the outcome of today, this is an important thing, is that you're going to learn proven and free marketing tactics that can be leveraged to help you drive sales this holiday season. So kia ora, I'm Glenn from Spike. We're an email marketing agency based in Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm on a mission to help businesses win with their email marketing. So I believe there is huge value in your customer database, and that email marketing is still the most effective way to unlock that value. Spike's been in business since August 2004, and I've been email marketing for over 20 years now, so one of the older guys of the crew. So today we're going to cover running a competition. Look, this is a quick way to get some sales and grow your list this holiday season. So we're really going to deep dive into that because there's some really quick wins for you in that, and how you can maximize MailChimp with them, and some other tools that we can use as well. Getting personal with your efforts, so using personalization in your email marketing, winning back your lapsed customers. This is quite overlooked and kind of can leave your database in a bit of a mess sometimes, actually. Treating your best customers like VIPs, this is really overlooked. We're so focused on getting new customers, we kind of don't think about our really good customers, who have been buying from us from like years, or and spending lots of money. So treating your best customers like VIPs. The next thing is maximizing your automations, and we're going to touch on that. And then there's a couple of bonuses, so making it timely, and a pro tip for success. So we're into it. Hold tight, it's 2 a.m. in Auckland, but hopefully I'm bringing the fire. So, it's 3 a.m., sorry, I've been up since 2. Running a competition. So where do we start? I always think there's some questions you need to ask yourself before you start doing a competition. So the first question, what's the prize? And why you want to think about that is you need to think that about something that's going to be engaging or worthwhile for your customers to win. What's it worth? And what's it worth to the customer? Because that's actually two different things, right? So, and is it desirable? Are people actually going to want to win this? I see some people, they put up a prize and no one's really that interested in it. And so they don't get much traction with it. The next thing is, how many winners will there be? And what does everybody else get? I think this is often overlooked as well, because we think we're just the winner gets all, right? But the thing is that when you're online and when you're selling, there's a whole bunch of other customers that we can do something with. Maybe we don't tell them at the beginning of the competition, but we can do some surprise and delight later. Because when you're putting the winner on social and you're celebrating them, and everyone's like, and they could move on. But while we've got them, I think we need to give them something else. It could be a discount or something added to their next purchase. So look, I think this is a great thing to build a relationship with your customers, and to be honest, it's hardly ever done. How long will it run for? So it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks or 4 weeks. That really depends on how big the prize is. So a small prize, you'd probably run a shorter window, and then a bigger prize, you're maximizing that as much as you possibly can, right? So you might run it for like 4 or 6 weeks. It all depends. But when I get further on, I'm going to show you an example of something that ran for a few weeks and how much went into that. How will you promote it? If you're thinking about all the different channels that you're going to promote it through, so email, social, are you going to run any radio ads, for example, or billboards, or it all depends on where you're at in your business. But could you use display? just thinking about what you're going to do to promote it. And then the last thing would be, how much are you going to spend to promote it? And like, what's the budget? So if you think about how much you're going to spend in the budget, what are you going to spend to make it a success? And the budget obviously includes the prize and any time or any other agencies or anything else, putting that all in one $1 value can be a bit scary sometimes. So it's really thinking about, how much you're going to spend and tying that all up together in one thing. So next up, tools. And I just flicked into here, but tools are the tools you're going to need to run competitions. So one of the easiest places to go is just go to MailChimp.com, and you just click in the search bar, competitions. And what you're going to find is you're going to get a list, a whole bunch. There's so many pages come up if you put in contests or giveaways, but this is the quickest place to find them. So what you're going to find come up, if you look through the list, you're going to see rewards fuel contests, you're going to see viral sweep, and you're going to see Gleam. And another competition tool that I like to use, which I'm going to talk about today, is KingSumo.com. I've got no affiliation with KingSumo, but I just find it's really easy to use. And you can set up nice landing pages, really quickly. As you can see here, we gave away some camping gear and an Apple Watch. These went really well. But super simple, header, background image, typing in the details, and away you go. We're into a workflow now, and this is a workflow of a competition starting from an email. So this is using KingSumo. It could be one of the other things as well. They all work in a similar way. So here you go. We start with an email, and in the email we have a link to a landing page, and that's where you input your email, and then we go to a thank you page. So on that thank you, and this is the cool thing about KingSumo, it actually asks you to share to Facebook, to via email, to Instagram. And what it's asking you to do, or it's encouraging you to do, is to get your friends to sign up. And the cool thing about this, and why I like it, is that it encourages the sharing by giving you extra entries into the draw. So for every share and everything that you do, you can set how many entries someone gets into the draw. We found this really supercharges competitions. So you can see, and I'm sure you've read ahead of me, that last email reminder on the right, I've got quite a few emails in there. Some people have taken me up on this. What this is covering is, you can see we've got the duration of the competition. In this case, say 2 weeks, for example. We're going to send an email reminder out in the middle of it, and then we're going to start sending our own reminders as well. So as we get to the end of the competition, we'd be starting to send, hey, you've got 3 days to go, it's 1 day to go. And this again depends on the size of the prize, because if it's really big, you can send a lot, I think, because it's almost expected, right? If you're giving away something that's worth thousands of dollars, then I think you can send a lot more email, you can promote it a lot more. So the last thing is, we choose a winner, and there's some final emails that go out. So an email to the people that didn't win, and here's what you've got. And then, you're posting the winners to social. It'd be great if you could get someone to post a picture of themselves, because it's always good to use customer generated content if you can. It just adds a lot of social proof. So this is an action. So these are the actual emails and examples of the entry page that we use, so you can see it. Now, this was a prize to win $5,000 of makeup for you and your friends, which is obviously a lot of makeup. And what we did is we had that first email going out, And as you can see, we had 4 subject lines there. I know they're a little bit hard to read, but the reason we had 4 subject lines is that we were testing all the time to get maximum engagement for this competition. So always A/B testing. And it works really well. And now you might be worried about the new iOS update. To be honest, opens have never really been a thing. In my opinion, it's a bit of a vanity metric. What we're really after is conversions, and clicks are the start of that. So when you're setting up an A/B test, you should always be doing it on clicks. That's going to be the best way to win. So then we went through to the entry page. Obviously these were branded up, and then to the thank you page. And as you can see, actually just before I go to the next slide, as you can see, this is where I was talking about get even more entries by completing these actions. So it was like share on Facebook and share via email. And I really like that. We've had people get up to 8,000 entries or something. They'd shared it with so many people. It's very, very cool. It can even give you a little email to send out to friends. And we wrote this for people, and they could just forward it on. Then we go into the thank you email. So once they've entered, they get this email here. And again, we're asking them to share the love on Facebook. So really covering our bases here, and as I was saying, trying to maximize this. Again, on that reminder email, this is a specific competition reminder email. And so you can see that we A/B tested, and just again, I'm going to use the word again, but maximizing this prize, because it's such a big prize too. Final email reminder, and then we get into the announcement of the winners. Now in the announcement, we've already contacted the winner by now as well, and we've also messaged them, and we've got a hold of them by phone just to make sure too. And then we've sent out the runner-up announcement, and you can see that we gave you a little surprise, and they got a free highlighter. So these were things that people weren't expecting, and it got a lot of love from people. And then for these ones here, we're personalizing these as they go as well. We're putting people's names in them. So for these people here, these are the ones that I was talking about who didn't win, right? But we gave them free shipping plus 40% off their next order. You can imagine this put a huge spike in sales. So this is a really successful competition, which is why I've outlined it today. But the prize was $5,000. We added 8,600 people to the database, and then the cost. So remember, if you think about the budget, the budget for this and the actual cost, including the prize, was $3,000. So that included, the agency fees and the prize. So that means that for those 8,600 people, it cost us 37 cents each. And I'm sure a lot of you know that if you can buy customers for 37 cents each, you'll be buying those all day long. So cheap. So that's why I really do go on about this competitions today, because they are a great way, and if you get your numbers right, they're a great way to get new customers onto your list. Here's some examples of competition emails. Choose your own travel prize. That was very, very good. Win one of 4 Spates birthday kits. And on that last email on the right, if you just look down the bottom left, you'll see yellow. And we're just going to touch on that. So this is one of their regular emails that goes out. And what we're doing is putting a banner into that regular email so that we're reminding people about the competition just during our usual day-to-day emails. So here's some examples of those. These are different banners that you could put in. So what I'm saying here is that you would do like Solus emails, so an email that has a single call to action, which is, hey, we've got a competition on. And then in your other emails, you're just reminding people about the competition so they can click through to the landing page. And you just use little banners and things to do that. So when you're collecting data, or when you're running competitions, you need to be thinking about where you can get it from, and you need to be getting it from every single touch point you can. And in fact, this is just a daily habit you should get into, right? Is every point of contact a person has with your business is a marketing opportunity. Every single point, right? And so you should be asking for an email address all the time. And a quick aside about how I do that is I spent 3 days doing a telemarketing one of my clients' databases. And why I did that is personally is I wanted to see, what were the lines, what were the little catchphrases or whatever I could use to get someone's email address. So the best line I found was, have you got an email address I can send that to? And how that came up was I would tell them about what we were doing. And if you think about your sign up form today, if you think about your website, maybe you can have a quick look at it, and you go down to your sign up form, it's probably going to say, sign up to my newsletter. Well, that's not very good, right? Like, that's not going to work. In fact, maybe your pop-up's working better than that, but when it comes down to your sign-up form, you really need to have something engaging there. So you need to have something like, we send really cool stuff every week, and expand upon that depending on your business. You should sign up. And then that will actually play into what content you're going to send as well. But, so often it just says, sign up to our newsletter. And you need to be doing it a lot better than that. And it'll work a heap better if you actually sell people on what you're going to be sending them. So we collected a lot of data at a Field Days event. So Field Days is an agricultural event. It happens every year. It's huge. And so SsangYong wanted to sell a lot of cars, and they also wanted to build a list of new customers. So why I've put this here as an example is because at Field Days they set up like a lunch bar, and we knew that we would have people sitting down eating. So on the bottom left there, we had some pads printed up, like proper, rip-off pads, and we had pens and boxes with the stickers on the tables, and people could fill them out, and they were ticking, what cars they were interested, or if they had a car to trade in. We then had the autoresponders going out, and then the live tracking from the iPads is that we actually got the sales guys into a bit of a competition, and it worked really, really well, because if you've got a team of people, how do you engage them to get really good at collecting email addresses? So maybe put a bit of competition in there could get them to collect more and more. Here's another workflow example. Now this one here is starting from social, so using ads, and this is for an insurance company. And I know there's a lot of different businesses on the call today, so I just wanted to touch on things that's not all about retail, right? But here we needed to build a list for a company, and so what we did was we gave them a prize of $3,000 to complete a quote. That's all they had to do. And you can see that we started it on Facebook with ads, and then we were retargeting them as they completed different steps. So if they dropped off after doing just a quote, we retargeted them, and then if they didn't buy, we retargeted them as well. And as you can see, the data went off to MailChimp, and we sent them an email, and then the data also went into the Protector Insurance database. So number 2, getting personal with your offers. There is huge power in personalization, and I think that it's not we're not always collecting data, but the power, and it's such a simple thing to do, by the way, which is why I bring it up. Hi Molly versus hi there or hi valued customer shows that you've put some thought into how you collect your data. And you know me. And, an email address is a key piece of information. I see it as a really valuable piece of information because people don't change their emails as often as what you might think or what a lot of people think. It's like these days, your personal email address is like a driver's license. You're using it to sign into everything. And so, if you can find out more data and do hi Molly, I think it does make just a subtle difference psychologically when you address someone by their name. I don't know if there's this thing called the reticular activation system. And that's the thing that ticks on inside your head and saves your head from exploding from all the data that's your brain is processing every day. And what it does is it allows you to notice things, and your name is one of those things you notice. So if you think about when you're in a crowd and someone yells out, hey Mike, all the mics look around because they're geared for it. When we see our name, same thing. Oh, it's our name. Oh, I'll have a quick read of this. So, and it's easy to collect this information. You can use sign-up forms, surveys, your shopping carts or preference pages, and of course, you should be collecting more than just their name. But just thinking about this in here, I think personalize as much as you can. Use it in subject lines, but don't overuse it. A bit like emojis. Don't overuse emojis. So using product recommendations, you can identify people who have purchased something recently and, they've spent a specific dollar amount, or, those who are most likely to click on different campaigns. All of this information is sitting in MailChimp. And MailChimp, honestly, is getting more and more powerful. And so there's so much you can do inside it. Demographics for gift ideas. So what I'm referring to here is using that demographic data in MailChimp to send out gift ideas, or even like whole emails that are dedicated to different types of gifts for people in your customers' lives. So gift ideas, I think, are really handy these days because we're really busy, and I think that a lot of people are quite grateful if you can either have someone else think for them, or just kickstart their thinking. I think it's quite an easy thing to do. So just touching on best customers, I'm going to come back to this. So ways to get data. This is really important. You can use update your preference or details forms. Here's a couple of examples. And we're looking for their phone number, their city, the birthday. And birthdays are huge, I think, because of the surprise and delight factor you can add in. Sending something on their birthday they didn't expect will build your relationship and hopefully get you some love on social too. And you can also see that we're asking people. Actually, I'll just flick back to that. We're asking people their preferred email frequency in these as well, and using them to opt down. So instead of opting out, they're opting down to, maybe if you're sending out daily emails, maybe we can opt them down to once a week. And I think this helps with engagement and actually stops people from unsubscribing. Keeps your list up to date, and that's really important for inbox placement too. So an example of a survey to collect data. So this is for one of our clients. They're an accountant, as you can see. You won't be able to read all these questions, but the thing about them is that on the email we talked about why we wanted to send out the survey and why we wanted to talk to them. And basically we just wanted to deliver value and a better service. And so by taking the survey and asking questions like, are you looking to grow your business this year? or what could we do better, or what service would you like us to offer? What we're looking for this accountant is, one, are they doing a good job? You know, where could they do better? But also, like, how could they offer other services? And accountants, you know, accountants are going to have to move a lot towards advisory and offering different services for their clients. So this is where we were going with this, like, you know, what else can we do for you? And also, like, what else are you doing? Because sometimes accountants only have one piece of someone's business. So, hey, can we get all of it? Winning back your, so number 3, winning back your lapsed customers. So this data is all sitting in MailChimp, and if you want to use it, I'm going to show you right now where you can find it. So we log in, and we go to audience, and then we go to the audience dashboard, and then we're in e-commerce. So in e-commerce, we can see customer lifetime value and that likelihood to purchase again. And these are the places where we can start targeting people and getting some quick wins for the holidays. Like, you know, you don't need to know a lot. Like I used to, you know, I've got data scientists working for me. You don't need to know those, right? You can just log into here and click, right, there's people who want to buy from me. They have a high likelihood. That's a quick win, because I'm going to send them an offer. There's a high likelihood they're going to buy. You know, I actually like to start with some of the low likelihood ones. And you could target these people with a competition or something really cool. And why I focus on those is to try and start moving them up. So we're either, you know, moving them up from low to moderate to high. And if you're going to use a retention strategy, like this is a retention strategy in some ways, is I'm going to send something out to those people and get them to move up. You know, see, because otherwise, if they're not engaging, you know, we're looking to move them on, basically. And you can see in the engagement here, you should target those people who do often, obviously, because definitely there's some, you know, these are the people that open their emails a lot. But I think you're going to get some great wins out of those people. But I would go to those people who really open, and just see if you can move them up from really to sometimes. Because, you know, if we can move them up with giveaways and contests or things like that, like, that'll really start adding to your cash flow, because they're going to start buying from you again. And so here is a re-engagement example that you can just take away and have a think about. So we're going to send a re-engagement campaign to customers that haven't opened with any campaigns, you know, for the last 3 months. So we're going to offer them $30 credit. We're going to use a code online30 to encourage them to open the email and give them a bit of a nudge to buy from the website. So quick select, we're going to go that target audience really. We're going to choose the subject line. I like to write probably 2 to 5 subject lines. If my database is big enough, which is 1,000 plus, I'm going to be A/B testing. And I'm going to be A/B testing on clicks. So subject line, you know, $30 on your account, free shipping if you spend more than $70. I'm going to time this for 4 days, and like, yeah, make it timely. Like, you don't want this to be going on for ages and ages. You want these people to take action now. So, you know, do a split test, and you're going to see a spike in your sales. These are some examples of emails that we send in retention. So, you know, we miss you, and we want you back, and we hate goodbyes. You know, these are timed at, say, 30 days. So, hey, we miss you, you haven't done anything for a while. We're very proactive with a lot of our lists. So we would take people off the list if they haven't engaged for after 90 days. So they've had lots of chances. And because, like, for example, with this one, we're actively growing the list, and we send a lot of emails, like daily, you know, we can afford to be really proactive and move people on. So a pro tip, at this point of my workshop is write clear calls to action and use short sentences. So less is more. And I think that the skill that you really need to learn, everyone needs to learn, is copywriting. Because this is a skill that is transferable, you can use it anywhere, and it's really going to improve your sales. You know, that's why I say write 2 to 5 subject lines for every email, because each one is going to be better. So we're on to number 4, treating your best customers like VIPs. So as I said, you know, this really works, right? Like surprising your best customers with something cool, running a special holiday sale just for them, and thanking them for shopping with you. You could even send them a postcard. You know, this data is all available, and you are able to see, like, whether you're using Shopify or in MailChimp, you know, who your best customers are. Tag them, and then, you know, send them something really cool that they didn't expect. And I mean, you could even just put a note in one of their packages. Hey, you know, thanks for being one of my best customers. You know, here's something for you. You don't need to tell them about it, but doing this really grows that relationship with those people. And they're going to talk about you. Seth Godin calls them sneezers, and you need a lot of sneezers to help you grow your business quickly. So if you surprise your customers, if you run that special, excuse me, if you run that special holiday sale, and then thank them for shopping with you, and then send them a postcard, it's going to work. It's going to be really cool. So here's how you do this. You would set up a landing page. You would identify those people who have made multiple purchases over the year. You'd tag them. You'd send them an awesome offer. And then what I would do is actually set this up as an automation. So you can either have it running all the time. So as people move up to being a VIP because they've bought, you know, they've made a sale every month, whatever, you know, you write in that logic sentence. Or you might actually just run this 2 or 3 times a year, and just, you know, segment them out at the time. So maximizing your automations is what we're going to just touch on here, because, you know, if you do automate this, it's going to save you a lot of time. And, you know, Jessica from Cheese Grotto says that, you know, the best customers automation saves her 2 to 5 hours a week, and that's such a massive amount of time, because, you know, business owners need to be effective with their time and their money. I'm just going to go through some examples of welcome and you know, recommendations, the different emails you can send. So welcome emails, this comes out straight away, and then 24 hours later we send them a you know, some products like our best sellers. Abandoned cart emails. You know, I like to send 3 if I can. So the first one comes out pretty quickly, an hour, then we've got a day, and then, you know, 2 days after that, or 3 days after that. And just trying to maximize, you know, that sale. I think today, my word for the day must be maximize. But, you know, using abandoned carts, and probably using more than one, you know, you really need to take advantage of the fact that someone was trying to buy from you, and that humans are dilatory. So what that means is we often say to ourselves, oh, I'll come back to that later, and we don't, because we forget about it. And that's why you resend emails too, because we forget about them. So product recommendations, you know, just sending those out using the data in MailChimp. So here's a quick bonus. Making it timely. So putting a timer on things. I just want to remind you at this stage of as we come to the close of my workshop, and get into my favorite part, the Q&A. But, you know, putting a timer on things for the holidays, because you don't want to be running sales all the time, and you want to really set limits on things and get people like going, right, I need to do this today. You know, we do a Manic Monday for one of our clients. The deals last 48 hours, and it's only 2 emails. It's one in the morning on the Monday, and then it's another one on the Tuesday to remind them. And it works because it gives people a hurry up to buy. I just wanted to put something else in here as well about planning. And planning is having a schedule you can stick to and then sticking to it, right? Every industry is going to be different with planning, so you need to work out what will work for you. But here's a simple plan, just an Excel spreadsheet. And as you can see, it's got the months along the bottom, and then we've just got the days. And you can see that we've got, okay, we're sending an email out on this date. Here's the offer and copy, any coupon codes, website links, prices, what we're going to put on social. And if you can fill this out ahead of time, it's going to save you a lot of headaches. So this is a full month calendar, and as you can see, we've planned out everything from changing a profile picture and cover photo to creating and sending an email about products or information, and then at the end of every month we're reviewing the results. And this is what all this means. So this is what we're doing inside that plan. And I believe that content can be easy, and you need to start from the date that you're going to send the email, and then you work backwards from there. Say 4 days, for example, write down your ideas for your offers and content. Day 2, get into that detail, just little bits of time, and they add up. Building your email, get someone else to test your email. We always like to pass it on to someone else just to make sure, because if we've been working on it for a long time, we might miss some stuff. And then you schedule that email, and then you watch your sales come in. So a couple of mistakes to avoid, especially at this time of the year for the holidays. I think leaving planning to the last minute, that is definitely a mistake, because you just don't have time. And so you need to be planning ahead. A trick that you can use, or a secret if you want to call it that, is having a look at what you did last year and reusing that. That's going to save you a lot of time. Not using all the channels you have, sending too many emails, that is a thing. We can get a bit carried away. With tech issues, and making sure that help is available if things go wrong. This is really important. If you're launching a big competition, you want to know that your website's going to hold up. Just making sure that if something goes wrong, you know where to go. So thank you for the courtesy of your time. We're now on to my favorite part of the workshop, which is the Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to hand over to Amy. Amy.
Hey, Glenn, thanks so much. So I just want to call out really quickly, you all, Glenn is a part of our partner community, and the MailChimp partner community is a creative space, or a space for experts and creatives who know MailChimp well. So no matter where you are in the world, or where you are in your business journey, we have an expert who can help. So you can go to MailChimp.com/experts. There's a directory of experts who can help you from everything from designing your campaign, managing your list, helping you come up with awesome competitions and sweepstakes ideas. So go to MailChimp.com/experts to find an expert in your area, and we'll get started on the questions. So the first most important question we have, Glenn, what kind of car is that back there?
So that's a 1988 Peugeot 205 GTI. It's my classic racing car.
Awesome. All right. So first real question here is, if we have a small marketing budget and have to choose where we focus our funds, what do you think offers the most or best ROI?
So I always think that the best ROI is, I'll just think of that for a second. I think, because all businesses are looking for this, right? So I'm probably going to default to email marketing and building your list. I think that's the best ROI is just building your list of customers, right? Of people who want to buy from you. I think having So on a lot of websites, I see it say, well, on the pop-up, it says 10% off your first purchase. I think that's quite hard to calculate in people's head. So have a think about having a dollar value off. And why this works is just easy. So to make this work, find out what your average sale is on your website, and then do a dollar off value that looks like great value. It's easy to calculate, and it's quite easy to push people over the line. So yeah, I think actually those two, building your list and making it really easy to get someone to get your first purchase.
That's good because I hate having to do the math in my head.
Yeah.
Let's see. So for a new business startup, what way can you drive customers to your business without spending a fortune on marketing and advertisements?
So that really does depend on your business, right? But you might remember I was saying about doing the telemarketing and having a really good line to get that email address, and making every touch point any customer can have with your business a marketing moment, saying, you know, we do this awesome thing, which is send emails and great offers, and you know, have you got an email address we can send that to? Because I think that you need to find the people who love your product and help them be sneezers, like I said, like Seth Godin. So help them promote how much they like your product. Yeah, I think like this is like I'll do the classic email marketing answer of it depends, because it does depend on your business. But I think like making a list of your dream, say your dream 100 clients, say if you're B2B or you're a service business, dream clients, make a list of those people, and then searching for them on LinkedIn and contacting them. And do you know what? If you're a B2B player right now, the difference is going to be making phone calls, because I think too many people are relying on digital to do their jobs for them, and it's not quite like that. I think if you're a new business, you've really got to reach out to people and offer them real value. Yeah, I hope that covers it.
That's awesome. Thank you. All righty. So how often are you emailing people during a competition?
So, like I said, I'm about to say it, that depends, but it does. So on the length of the competition, if you're doing a 4-day competition, for example, you know, you're going to email them on the first day, you might email them on the second, like 1 day to go, and then you might email them again on that last day to say, hey, you know, the competition's closing at 5 p.m. tonight. So 3 emails, like soulless emails with a single call to action. If it's longer and you're running it over, say, 2 weeks, you could easily send 5 because, like, you know, the initial one, there's one halfway, and then you've like, say, 3 near the end. Yeah, I think you could, and if it's a really big competition where you've done it over, say, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, you've not only sent probably 10 emails for that, but you've also had it in your usual, like those banners that I talked about in your usual emails.
Gotcha. So there's a lot of interest about the competition. So bear with me. These next couple of questions are going to ask about that.
Okay.
So does the reminder email have a function to determine who has entered the competition so that they don't receive a redundant email? Meaning, so do they know, you know, that someone has already entered before you send a new email to them?
Yes, you would. However, like for the King Sumo one, like, you know, you're reminding people to enter to get more entries. So, but if you're not using that, no, actually though, most of those like Gleam and Viral Sweep, like they are, like you do get more entries. So I'm not sure that's a big problem, because it's probably just a segmentation thing. I I probably wouldn't worry about that, to be honest. Like if I was, um, I'm not going to annoy anyone because I'm probably going to send that email during the course of my usual my email cycle. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I think that would be fine.
This person was probably thinking of a competition where you only get one entry,
Yeah.
but others. Okay. Let's see. So, which of the four subject lines you mentioned work best for the email competition announcement?
Oh, the four? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was the ones that had like the dollar value were the ones that won that like would get the most opens and clicks because it was easy, right? Yeah, I think adding in the numbers generally win.
Awesome. All right. So, in the context of competitions, do you think too many emails would annoy people? Should they mix it up a little bit with some emails and social media activity? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think like if you've gone from like sending a weekly email and then you run a competition and you decide to send 10 emails in 2 weeks, that's going to be a bit much. So yeah, you just need to be just careful, well, mindful of like how often you generally send, because you're going to put the banners inside those as well. So remember to count those, and yeah, just be mindful and polite. I think that's what it comes down to. If you think to yourself, "Oh, I wouldn't want to receive this many," then probably back off.
So, in that same space, how do you know once they participate? How do you know? Let's see, how can you estimate the number of participants there are? And how do you know once they participate? Will they forget about you or unsubscribe in that process?
Okay, so within the tools, it's telling you how many people have entered and how many entries they've got. So that covers that. So I think the second part is, will they forget about you? No, because what you do is at the end of the competition, you have all these new customers and you subscribe them and you put them into a welcome campaign, and you maybe personalize that welcome campaign to say, excuse me, you don't say excuse me, you say, hey, welcome aboard, thanks for entering my competition, here's what you can expect from now on. And remember that you gave them a bit of a deal, or you did something for them. We're trying to remind them like, hey, remember that discount and that free shipping we gave you. Make sure you use that before this date.
Okay,
Yeah.
last one on competition.
Excuse me.
Is there a good way to cut down on reward accounts? So those accounts that people create just to enter contests.
So that's a really good question. You're not going to be able to cut down on that as much, but if you do the welcome campaign, and you're going to clean those people out of your list pretty quickly. Yeah, probably after 30 days, like they'll be gone. And so yeah, I don't think that's too much of an issue. But I know people worry about like their MailChimp accounts and bouncing up to the next level. So that's why we run retention campaigns, to make sure that you're only sending to the people, or you're only paying for the people who want to hear from you. So using the welcome campaign and that onboarding and reminder, you'll start clearing those people out very quickly.
Awesome. All right, I think we have time for just a few more. Let's see. Oh, any suggestions for competitions or giveaways for services?
Oh yeah, so that the one that I showed was an insurance company. So this is a service company. That was a great price. So they insure cars and motorbikes and classic cars. And so the prize was across all three of those. So you'd win $3,000 for a motorbike or a car, and that worked really, really well. I actually think sometimes, in fact most times, the prize should be something like outside of what you're doing, but maybe associated with you. So for example, our camping guy, he is giving away, and I'm sorry, this isn't a service business, but just bear with me. So we've partnered with a coffee company. And so, because the coffee company, its branding's all about outdoors. So I think for service businesses, it's finding something that you can align yourself with that people would find really useful. So if you are an accountant, I find a lot of accountants are actually quite into sports and outdoors, and so they kind of attract like-minded clients. So you could potentially give them an adventure or an experience as a prize. And especially if you're an accountant, you've got these busy, very busy business owners. Maybe a prize of a weekend away for them and their wife, or their partners. Like, that could be really cool. So just think a little bit outside the box. It doesn't have to be from your business if you're a service. If you're a service business. And actually, do you know what? This would actually give you a really good opportunity to profile one of your clients. So say if you're a lawyer and you've got a particular client who, I don't know, sells cars or something, maybe you could have a prize, you partner with them and give away a car. That's a big prize, by the way. But, think outside the square and think about how you can promote within your business, like promote your own customers.
I like that. Alrighty, last question. Do you have any suggestions for smaller companies with smaller lists? This particular company has about 4,000 people on their MailChimp list.
So what ideas do you think we should talk about here, Amy? Have they said, like, are they a retail business, or what shall I do?
It doesn't say. Maybe, you know all the things. Maybe retail, maybe some services.
Okay, so they've got a list of 4,000 people. What could they do? Okay, that's a good question. If I was a retailer and I had 4,000 people, I think that's a good start. There are going to be people in that list that open every email. I'd probably tag them as people who are highly engaged, although MailChimp's doing that for you, and send them something that you're not sending to everybody else, for example. Maybe do that a couple of times a year. And then with one thing about running a competition from a list of 4,000, you could potentially grow that by another 1,000. So thinking about a competition. And if you're a B2B company, I use this thing called the power. This is for content, a content play. I've got this idea I call the power of the BCC. So the power of the BCC is using the questions that your clients are asking you to create your content, because you're going to write an answer back to that person. So what you do is you BCC another email address or another email account, and you get all of your team to do it as well. And that will build up over the month. And you can use that content in two ways, as FAQ on your website, for example, or blog posts, or content for your emails. 4,000 people to talk to is a really good list. And one tip for everybody, especially about related to the 4,000, you can get really personal. And I think that that if we get personal, we can and think about our customers not as 4,000 people, but as an individual. We will talk to them in a different way, and we will write copy how we would talk to them in real life. And that will make a real difference. It'll make you stand out, and it'll make you relatable, and those 4,000 people will start to talk about you a lot more.
All right. Thanks so much, Glenn. That was super, super helpful. We appreciate it.
Thank you. So look, to me, it's time to win with your business. If you'd like to learn more about how to win with your holiday marketing, you can go to spike.co.nz/workshop. I really appreciate the courtesy of your time today. Thank you so much.